welcome back to my channel. Here's a simple way to make a silk satin bonnet. First off, you're going to be needing these two fabrics: an elastic band, pin, scissors, tape, of course. This is a satin fabric. Satin is very smooth and very kind to your hair, and then this is the silk fabric I'm mixing with it. So starting with the silk, I spread the silk out, fold it into 4 corners, then I measure 11, which is half of 22, which is the measurement I'm using, and then I add an extra inch allowance and then fix on all edges to show my curve. So I mark 12 on each side, and then I fold up. I pin the fabric because silk easily shifts, so this is to make it stay in place. So I pin at important points, and then I fold it into a quarter again, just to get a perfect circle shape. So I keep marking my 12-inch at this edge so that I make sure it's uniform, and then I draw it round, and then I cut the shape out. Then I set this fabric, the silk fabric, aside. I do the same thing with the satin fabric. So I have these two fabrics. If you notice, I notched each point, and then this is me spreading it out. I did the same thing for the silk fabric, and this is spreading it out to make sure it's uniform and it aligns. Next up, I get my pin, and I pin at important places so it makes the fabric stay and it doesn't shift. Next thing, I take and I sew round. Now after sewing around, if you notice, I left a little space here. Let me bring it closer so you have a good look. I left this space here so it's easy for you to turn it inside out after. So I trim off the excess fabric at the edges, and then I turn it inside out. And the next step is using the elastic band. I fold this, then I measure 1 inch from the edge to get a point where the elastic is going to pass through. This is me marking 1 inch from the edge and tracing the circle. I'm going to be sewing 2 lines, which would be ½ inch apart. Make sure your seams are very tight and well sewn. Press it so it looks very fine and neat. Next up, I cut out my elastic, which is, I'm using 20 inches. I cut it out and I make sure it's measured this way, and then I pass it through the part I sewed using a pin. After that, I sew these 2 points together so it doesn't stick out. This is after I've sewn it. You can see I push it inside, and then I stitch this together, and then I stretch it out so it is uniform all through. So this is the satin bonnet. You can wear it this way facing the silk, or you turn it the other way around facing the satin fabric. Simple and easy.